record. Okay, so that's it, we're recording now. So let's, going to share my screen with you. I'm getting so organised on this now with the whole, there we go, with the whole PowerPoint presentation. It's amazing when you've got Office back again. So what I want to talk about tonight is how to build a successful It Works team. So I've been listening to quite a few calls with from Denise Waters, as I know Tracy has as well recently, and they're quite good actually, because they're calls that are they've been around since I first started. So they were calls that I listened to when I first joined the business, and it's really good to go back over them. So you never, I think you always get something new, and you're always probably in a different place when you listen back to things as well. But it was just a few of the things. And when I first started to write this presentation, I was just saying to Yele that I started to write the presentation and it was about how to build a successful It Works team. And I started off talking about you do a launch party, you do your blitzing and social media. And then I was like, oh, do you know what? I'm actually, I think I just keep saying the same thing again and again, which is true because that's what you do. But I thought, oh, maybe we need to go down a little bit of a different avenue with it and go more about the emotional side of things and, probably the behaviour side of things. And in particular, listening to some of the Denise Waters stuff just lately and reading, the difference between distributed thinking and leadership thinking. So obviously, when you're building a team, you won't, some of this might not feel as relevant, but it is because, the first point on here is you need to be the hardest working person on your team. So if you want a successful team, then basically they're going to follow your lead. So you need to be the hardest working person. Now, even if you haven't got a team yet, if you're working really hard, you're going to get it and you're going to get yourself into good behaviours that will then be easy to continue. You also need to be the most excited person on your team as well. So, and you're not always going to feel that, okay? So you're not always going to feel like you're the most excited person on your team, but you have to portray that, okay? And some days, obviously, it's easier than others. Today, for example, I can start out some days and I can just feel a little bit like, oh, I've messaged loads of people and I've not really got anywhere, and I've put something on the team page and I've not had any likes or comments on it. But I don't let that. I continue to be excited. I'm like, no, it's all going to come together. And do you know what? It's really funny because by the end of the day, like tonight, I'm like buzzing. And obviously we've got the Pam Sauda call, which is I'm just so ridiculously excited about that. That was literally a chance, seeing it on Facebook, and I thought I'm going to message her immediately. I couldn't believe it when she came back that quickly. But, and that got me excited. And then it was really weird because then you just see things differently. You only need a little bit of excitement. And then I was looking at the team pages and I was reflecting back on time and I was thinking, look at this challenge group and all of these people that are posting their comments and saying that they're in when you say, are you in for this, and you're going to go for it. And you're like, oh my God, this is amazing. We've got all these people that are really up for it. So the other thing is you need to be the least negative as well. And that is hard. That is really, really hard to do because there are things and challenges in this business that are constantly coming and, challenging you. And I know one thing that Tracy picked up on, which she really liked from the Denise Walsh call, was that you should only ever rant upline. So you shouldn't ever rant to your downline. Your downline shouldn't ever really know if you're really, not in a good place or whatever. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't, and I think you don't want to be that person that if you're, so say, for example, Trace is saying to me, oh, I'm really racked off with this and I'm not very happy with this and that's not happening. And if I just pretend everything's hunky-dory, yes, you empathise with people and yes, you can say, yeah, I've been in that situation, or yeah, I think customer service is rubbish at times. But you've always got to try and maintain that positivity and never really pass that down to your downline. And that's tough. That is tough. I particularly find it tough because I don't really have that relationship with my upline, with them being in the US, that I can have that ranting with them. But I think if you have got myself, I'm here, then that's who you rant to. But yeah, you need to be the least negative person in your team. So even if you think to yourself, I don't actually know how this is going to go, keep that positivity, because it will impact on your team and they will get picked up and drawn along with you. And this was Charlie's point, bless him. So I was talking to Charlie and I said, because he's obviously a captain, so we were talking about leadership, and I said, you're the captain of your football team. What do you think is important about that? And he said that you need to be the main person on your team. And I think it was a really, really lovely point, actually. You want to be a focus, you want to be a focal point, you want people, and I think it comes to being inspiring, okay? So you want people to look at you and to see that you're doing things and to see that you're active and that you're taking part in stuff, because then that inspires people. And the thing with this business is that you can't motivate other people. The motivation can only ever come from within themselves. But what you can do is you can inspire them with your motivation. So if somebody sees you doing the online parties, if they see you encouraging people to do launch parties, if they see you posting on Facebook, then that will inspire your team to do the same thing. And these things, they really do work. I know we've got Dawn and Yelly on the call, and I can 100% say that I have seen a huge shift in both of their activity on Facebook and their teams. That is really starting to reflect. Yelly's got Laura, who's absolutely amazing, and Dawn's got both Joe and Karen now, who are incredible. And I think that they will see what you're doing, and they'll see that you've got that consistency, and that will inspire them to do the same. One of the key things is taking responsibility for your own success. And I know this from my personal experience of being frustrated with the growth in my team, and thinking to myself, I used to look at other teams and think, why can't I have that growth, and why can't I have this, and why can't I have that? And the truth is I needed to take responsibility for that, and I needed to be that person that kept going. I can remember I stopped doing training calls for a long time because I felt quite, I was thinking to myself, hardly anybody's coming in, blah, blah, blah. But the truth is that I needed to just keep doing them, because people needed that consistency. They needed to see that those training calls were available. So it's a huge, huge part of it. So taking responsibility for your own success. And if your team aren't recruiting or aren't getting the loyal customers like what you want them to, then look to yourself first. And that's sometimes a hard thing to do, is to take responsibility for your own success, because it's a lot easier to think that it's other people that are impacting on how you're promoting within the team. But the reality is it does all come down to you. And you do need them to work, but if you're doing all of the other things, then that will happen. It will happen, because it's a numbers game, and if you're actively recruiting, then you'll find those people that work. Key thing here is, and I've seen it so many times, you need to be able to have down days and be able to pick yourself up from them. So as a team, obviously, we'll help you, and if you're feeling a little bit like fed up about something, talk to us and we can put a different slant on it and give you ideas and all the rest of it. But it's your personal responsibility to pick yourself up and move on. And one of the key things I see is that people get into a slump. So they might have been with the business for a few months. They've not seen the success that they want. They're starting to think, nothing's happening for me. And then they lose it and they go, oh, well, it's not really worth posting on Facebook, is it? Because I've not got anything yet. Or it's not worth sending those messages because I've not got anything yet. But I promise you that if you are consistent and you keep doing it, that will come. Just had a phone call with Shelley Madison Clark, bless her, who was feeling a little bit down because she was sending like 20 odd messages a day or over the course of a week, and constantly talking to new people and just wasn't getting anything back. And then today she sent 20 messages out and got 4 replies, one of whom is ringing her tomorrow, and it looks like she's going to sign up with the mini booster kit. And you know, Shelley's absolutely over the moon about that, but it's a numbers game. And, you know, luckily, even though she was feeling like I'll keep messaging people and I'm not getting anything back, she kept on messaging them. And that is absolutely crucial, because it only takes one person to take your business and transform it to a whole different level. And I'm not saying that you know, that might not be the first person you sign. You might need to sign quite a few people to get that one person, which means you're going to have to send an awful lot of messages and speak to an awful lot of people. But once you've got that one person, and I know obviously, Yelly, you've got Laura now, and I think that's really ignited you, because I know I saw it with Sarah when she got Jane Naylor. It's literally just takes that one person and you think, thank God for that, somebody else gets it. Somebody else is with me on this journey. But those down days are going to come. And the thing is, if you work through those down days, then your team will see that as well. Your team will see that you work through those down days. And so, one, you're working through the down days, so your recruitment's going to be good. And secondly, you know, those people that you have recruited will see that you just keep going and they'll follow suit. So the other thing about having a Successful It Works team is to make the most of every tool that is given to you. Okay, so there are so many tools that are provided. You know, there are challenge groups, which obviously a lot of you are on, the Dash to Diamond. There are online parties, there are training calls, there are meetings that take place. And I would say just, you know, make the most of everything that's available. If there's a pamper night, go to it. Dawn and I are going to the Derby Market tomorrow night, and I haven't done anything like that for a long time. And I'm really excited by it, because I want to get back into doing those grassroots things. I want to get back into doing ladies' nights. I was a bit gutted. I thought I was doing a ladies' night the other week. And they're great fun. I love going to ladies' night and meeting other people and going around and chatting to people and talking and finding out different things. And they're just, you know, all of these tools are there. And a lot of them are, you know, not getting out and about. A lot of them are free. You know, it's free to message people. It's free to listen to the trainings. It's free to do the online party. So make the most of every tool that's given to you, because the chances are those tools are being given to you because either myself or, you know, when we do things like with Denise Walsh, they know that they work. So they're tried and trusted and tested, and, you know, people know that they work. And so that's the other thing, is don't rewrite things that are already there. Okay. So I know, again, massive mistake that I made when I first started. And to a certain extent, I needed to do a little bit of stuff because we were breaking into the UK and things were a little bit different, and we didn't have UK pricing, and we didn't even have a price list in UK in pounds. But the one, you know, I don't regret doing that, but I do regret doing spreadsheets to try and work out my commissions. And I do regret, I did actually, you know, look into T-shirts and all the rest of it. And you don't need to be doing those things. You know, don't rewrite what's already done. If there is a loyal customer script, you might want to have a look at it a little bit. But the truth is that loyal customer script works. And it's being passed down because people know it works. Sometimes we pass things down as an experiment and to say, let's try this. But we'll always say, let's try it and see how it goes. the majority of time, it's, you know, the statuses that are provided, the statuses that we know will get you inquiries. And even if those inquiries don't come immediately, they're statuses that will make people think, that's interesting. So they'll be watching. And then with regards to obviously moving on from the rewriting, but in a similar vein, is keeping things really simple so your team can duplicate what you train them. So if you're rewriting stuff and complicating things and making it more difficult, you're going to find that more difficult to pass down to your team. So if you're simply saying to people, you blitz, you wrap and you repeat, so face-to-face blitzing, online blitzing, however you want to blitz, you know, all you're doing is asking people, have you tried that crazy wrap thing? You blitz, you wrap people and you repeat. And if people are doing that, then the rest comes quite naturally. I have so many people say to me, I'm struggling to get loyal customers and I'm struggling to get distributors. And I'm like, are you wrapping people? Yes, that will follow. It naturally follows, because the more people you wrap, then the more word of mouth spreads, and it will happen. It will come. It might well be that it's a blocker in your head, and that's when you need to understand. And again, conversation with Shelley, she was saying to me, what's the best thing to do for this person? Or, you know, what's the best thing? Do I sign this person as a loyal customer or distributor? You sign them as to what is best for them. So as long as you're always doing what is best for that person, then that will follow through, because it will happen. But yeah, keep things simple. Okay, you blitz, you wrap, you repeat, and you follow the steps to success. So while you're blitzing, wrapping and repeating, that is to get 4 loyal people to join, get 4 loyal customers, or get 3 distributors. That's it. That is quite simple. It's really interesting, actually. I was just telling the guys that when Charlie was talking to me about this, and I was saying, you know, how do we get a successful It Works team? And bless him, the first thing he said was, you hand those cards out to people. Now, if a 6-year-old can grasp it, admittedly, he has been listening to it for 2.5 years, then you know that is a simple system that can be duplicated by anybody. And I even started to write the blitzing thing and put, you give blitz cards to people you know. And he said to me, no, mummy, you give them to everybody. And I was like, oh my God, it really is that simple that a 6-year-old can grasp. You just tell everybody about it. So keep things really simple and drip feed things to people. You know, you don't need to tell them everything all at once. And sometimes they'll go, oh, I wish I didn't know about that. Well, you know, things like commission qualified and stuff. You know, it's not that you're holding back on stuff. Just tell people the stuff as they need it and keep it really simple, because then they can train people and they won't be scared, because they'll think to themselves, well, if it's that simple, I just tell people to blitz, wrap and repeat and follow these steps, then actually it's not scary getting somebody onto the team, because I can tell them that. Oh, this is a key one. So you need to be able to brush off criticism whilst forever being open to learning. And it's really tough. And I think one of the key things that holds people back in this business is fear. And I think it's the fear of the unknown. It's also the fear that you might not be enough yet to make this business work. And the truth is that everybody is always learning. Every single day I learn something new about this business. Every single day I think to myself, why don't I try this differently or try that differently? And some people can find that really quite scary. They can find it quite scary because sometimes it might let them see things that they might not like about themselves. So for me personally, I'm well aware that I'm a complete control freak. Now, that's me. That's you know. But I work on that. I work really hard on that, and I know that will impact on me. So that won't promote layered leadership. So I have to work on that. But you know, that is something that, you know, you actually, when you say you're brushing off criticism, a lot of the time the criticism is coming from the toughest person, and that's yourself. So you have to really look inside yourself, and that can be a big thing. And I personally think I could name, goodness knows, a lot of people that I know have left this business, and it's because they're not quite ready to look and go, actually, that bit, I need to work on that, or maybe that's not a thing. So, but all I can say to you is if you're prepared to look at yourself and go, actually, Mel, you're a control freak and you need to stop doing that, and you need to, to encourage people more to do things for themselves, then you'll be on a winner completely. And obviously the key thing, and took this literally from Kay Sauder's post today, you need to be the person you want in your team. And I think that's a really, really tough one, because again, you have to look at yourself and go, actually, am I the person that I would want on my team? Would I actually want me in my downline, or would I be an absolute complete nightmare? And I think I probably would be a nightmare, especially when I first started. So you have to look at that, and you have to think to yourself, and what I really want to look at is what qualities would you like to see in a distributor? So what is it, if you could, and there's a few there, and I'm going to get people on the Dash to Diamond page to have a think about this and think, what qualities would you like to see in a distributor? If you could have your perfect distributor, what would they be like? They'd work independently, they'd be driven, they'd be loyal, they'd be fun, they'd be social, they'd inspiring, they'd be plugged in. It's a bit American, sorry. Plugged in is basically they listen to trainings. They'd be positive, encouraging, they'd be action-oriented, and they'd be a go-getter. Now, the chances are that you might not be all those people, might not be all those things, but if you've got a few of them, then you're on the right track. And once you've started to identify, so once you've said, you know what, actually, this is the sort of distributor I'd like in my team, and actually, what can I do to be more of a go-getter, say, for example, what can I do to actually be more of a go-getter? Or what can I do that actually promotes that I'm working with more independence? Once you start to do that change, you'll attract people that are working that want to work that way, because like attracts like. And if people see you being this inspiring, fun, excited person on Facebook, then you'll attract those sorts of people. And the people in your team will obviously, they'll step up and they'll want to be that way as well, because people will literally follow your lead. So talking about duplicatable, so what's duplicatable? And this is, and it does feel like you're repeating yourself again and again and again, but the truth is that's because it's duplicatable and it's simple. So what do you want from a distributor? What do you want? You want somebody to have a launch party, you want them to go blitzing, you want them to do online blitzes, you want them messaging people, you want social media presence, and you want them to be excited, you want them to be undertaking team online wrap parties, you want them to be present on the challenge groups, and you want to them to be listening to the team trainings. And I think, everybody on this call is doing all of those things. And what will happen is that everything will flow, because it really is that simple. And I have to admit, I started to think to myself, I'm struggling with what to say to train the team, because I feel like I'm just saying the same things all the time. But the truth is that's because it's just really simple. And we do just want to duplicate and remind people that if you are doing these simple steps, then the rest will follow. So I think that was it. Yeah, that's it. So I'm going to stop the share. Oh, brilliant. So I'm just going to have a quick look at the chat box to see. Cool. Yeah, that's it. Oh, bless. Hello. So we've got quite a few people that have come on. It's lovely to see you guys. Hello, Janine. Bless. Janine only signed on Friday, and you've got your kit. That's brilliant. So 2 years of watching. How funny to think. Yeah, and you're going to be there on November the 29th, aren't you? How funny to think that 2 years of watching and chatting. And we met in Walsall 2 years ago, didn't we? And
Solihull, yeah.
Yeah. Was it in Solihull?
Birmingham. Yeah, Solihull, yeah.
Are you sure? I think it was Walsall.
Yes.
I think you were just off. It was just off the motorway, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Walsall.
Yeah. So I was and that's the interesting thing actually is so I was a ruby at that point in time.
Emerald.
No, I was ruby.
Oh, right.
No, I was ruby. No, I was ruby because I was I didn't promote to emerald till the January, and then I went diamond in the February. But I can remember going and thinking to myself, and it's all these things, these learnings come to fruition. And I can remember thinking to myself, I was a ruby, but I thought, do you know what? It doesn't matter that I'm a ruby. I can still do an opportunity meeting. It doesn't matter what level I'm at. And I can remember being really nervous because there was a diamond leader there, wasn't there? And I was really and I was really nervous because I was like, oh my God, I'm telling people how to get to diamond and I haven't actually done it yet. I was just full of all this stuff and I hadn't actually done it. But it didn't matter, did it? Because I think I knew more than the diamond.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was just really fascinating, wasn't it? Because there was I think that gave me so much confidence. And you were a massive part of that actually, because you said no, you were, because you and Rachel straight away said, actually we don't want to sign with the other person, we want to sign with you.
Yeah. And I just signed.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't even meet me. And I was like, okay, you've just signed me and now you've just left me.
Yeah, she wouldn't even meet with you, would she? And I can remember it being the most awkward conversation I've ever had because I'd organised this wrap party and told people, yeah, get people to come along and I'll, we'll do training. And then there's quite a few people in the room, wasn't there? And they were like, I think I've signed with the wrong person.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that's a bit awkward. It's not a problem. I can still help you. But you were determined. The other people went away and were just quite happy, but you were determined, weren't you? Because your upline had just completely ignored you, and you said, why should I do the work and then get the benefit when they've not even so yes, it was good. It was good. But it just goes to show that if you just I went to that, and I think the reason you probably thought I was an emerald is because I just turned up and just thought, I'm just going to behave like I'm a diamond. I thought, I'm just going to put it out there. I am a diamond. I'm quite capable. I've just not got the team yet. And it was, and I was not joking, it was the most depressing run-up. I can remember the run-up to that event, and I'd asked a few of the team if I'd booked it for this date, if they would come, and they said yes. And then quite a lot of people let me down, and I couldn't, and I sat there and I thought, I can't even get my own team to drive 40 minutes down the road for an opportunity meeting. And it is one of those things. You what, sorry? I know, and you drove all the way from, exactly. And I think it was the most depressing thing setting it up, but actually doing it was amazing because, and this is, when I was talking to Shelley earlier, we were talking about it, and I suddenly realised that I wasn't the only person in the world that wanted to run with this business and that was prepared to put myself out for it. Because you drove from Cheltenham and were like, really, you were really, really keen and really excited, but you just didn't get the support. And there were other people in the room as well who didn't have any upline support whatsoever, but were still sat in that room willing to learn and to want to do better. And I just thought, okay, and it really spurred me on because I thought, okay, so the people are out there, they're just not in my team yet. And it is very much like that. It is. I know when I was talking to Shelley and I said to her, she said I was starting to feel like I was messaging all these people and I was the only person in the country that thought it was a good idea other than the other people in the team. and and I said, that is sometimes what it feels like. It really does. Because you sign up and you're like, wow, this is amazing. Everybody is going to want to join my team because this is the most amazing thing in the world. And then you send the messages out and people say no, and you think, what? I don't understand that. What do you mean you don't want to join? You can become a millionaire. It's the most amazing thing in the world. Can't imagine. And it floors you a little bit, and you have to like pick yourself up from that. But the truth is, if you just keep asking people, they're out there.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. So has anybody got any questions? No? Brilliant. Right. Well, I shall stop recording then. Have you got anything to add, Tracy?
No, not really. I think it was just a bit. It's nice to see some new faces on the call.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
I know Karen tried to get on. I think Karen got on, but she couldn't hear very well.
Yeah,
so.
no, I just saw that there was 7, and I just saw that you'd said hello to Karen. So, but I'm sure she'll be able to. I'll get the recording uploaded anyway, so she'll capture that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's
good.
It's nice to meet you, Janine.
Hello.
You're right there. See, Dawn in the background on mute still.
Bless. She's there.
Hiya.
You're right.
It's no, I hadn't really got any more to add really. Just the did you read my thing the other night about when I found that thing from that medium that I spoke to? And
Oh yes, yeah.
How freaky was that? But it is true about you have like to repeat things all the time. That is the key to it now, and I've kind of got that now. It took me long enough.
Well, the truth is, realistically, 2.5 years in, I've been complicating it for probably 2.5 years, if I'm honest.
Yeah, and it's just stripping it back, getting down to the basics, and it's all there, and just using those basic tools, and just keep doing it, repeating it.
Yeah. I mean, I know Shelley said tonight that she showed her boyfriend said to her, he said, oh, so what are you messaging these people? And she told him, and she said, I just messaged them. Hi, I see you do beauty treatments. Have you tried that crazy rap thing? And he said, that's spam. And she went, you've not introduced yourself at all. And she went, look, this is what I've been told to do, so I'm doing it. I loved it. I was like, oh my God. It's amazing when people say that. You're like, yay, listening. And I said, and she said that, as I say, she sent 20 messages out and got 4 replies. So she went downstairs all smug and went, look. So, but you know, we try and tell people too much. You know, I've only just discovered the loyal customer script. That has transformed my ability to sign loyal customers. It has literally transformed it. I am now so much more capable of actually signing loyal customers. It's ridiculous, and that was a big stumbling block for me, was the loyals. Distributors, I find it really easy. Loyals, I struggled with. So that's massively helped me. And I have been told for 2.5 years by Denise Walsh and been on task forces where it said, send messages to however many people saying, have you tried that crazy rap thing? And you know what? I did it a lot. But I don't know if I necessarily passed that down. I mean, a lot of people run the same task forces, but it's just purely stripping it back. And Pam Sauder puts it brilliantly. Don't answer the unasked question.
Yeah.
that again, because you just naturally want to tell people all about it, and then they've got nothing to say to you, so you've killed the conversation. And just by saying as little as possible, I mean, we did this, didn't we, Tracy, the other day? Literally on you said, didn't you say you'd had a message from somebody and you were like, what do I say? And I said, no.
Yeah, just keep it, just wait for them to, and they do ask this, they do ask the basic questions, and then you give them the basic answers, and that's all they really want.
Yeah. Yeah. But the thing is, if you've got that bit of a conversation going, you've got a bit of backwards and forwards, you can build more of a relationship in that backwards and forwards. It's weird, but it does just work. And you know, your message was amazing, because the first bit was exactly what you needed to say. I think you just followed it up with some of the stuff, and I went, they've not asked that yet.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to do. It's so easy to do. I would love, you know, I share now what people send me and what I send them, because I want people to say to me, why did you say that? They didn't ask you that question, so why did you give them that answer? And it's hard. It's so hard to do.
Yeah, it's hard to keep it simple. You just want to just say everything you know.
Yeah.
You know, it does this, and you know, it only takes 45 minutes, and you know, and it will last 2 to 6 months, and and if you're a loyal customer, and if you carry on being a loyal customer for 6 months, you get £50, and you can just go on and on and on, but you just have to pull it back. So you tell them that after 3 months. So,
yeah. When they've joined, you tell them they get perks points, because they don't really need to know that, do they?
No. It's just something
and then
else
it's
to
an
add
added bonus that they can go, oh my god, that's amazing. And then they think to themselves, well, I joined as a loyal customer, and now they're telling me even more amazing stuff, and it just gets better and better.
Yeah, that's it.
Now, when you send the emails, like, have you tried their crazy web thing to, like, mobile technicians or whatever?
Yeah.
Do you send it from your personal Facebook, or do you send it from your page, your business page?
You send it from your personal Facebook, because you can't, unless they've messaged you, you can't send it from your page.
Okay.
So I always send it from a personal one, and and that's it. And then it looks more personal as well, because then they can be nosy and look at you. And they might, you know, they might well do. A lot of them will, even if they don't. And a lot of them, I try and add them as a friend as well. So I'll send them a message.
And they'll look for your things, won't they? They do literally stalk you. And I've talked to people before, and they've said, oh, your daughters are really pretty. I'm like, what?
Yeah. And the thing is as well, is that if you can add them as a friend, so immediately, even if they just come back and say, what is this? Add them as a friend. Okay. This is, you know, honestly, if you don't want them to see, if you don't want random people to see pictures of your children, then set up another profile, would be my advice to you. You know, if you do feel that way about your privacy, if you've got quite high privacy settings, set up another profile, keep it as your name, and still use it as a where you share things. So still talk about your family, even if you don't necessarily post the pictures, and still let people into who you are and what you're about. But you do need to be, you know, it's literally adding as many people as possible, because what I do is the minute I've added them as a friend, I then add them into my Facebook group, so they will see even more of what I do. And then every week they get invited to the online party, and I put all of my prospects on there, which, you know, Janine, because you've been being added to the online party week in, week out. I put all of my prospects on there.
You can scratch me off the list now.
I put all my prospects on there. I put all of my potential customers, and I put all of, you know, so anybody who's got any interest whatsoever to the business or as a customer gets added to the online party first. So I know then they're on there. Then I go through, and anybody I've recently added, I add them on, and then I will go through my friends list and add. And to be honest with you, sometimes time gets, you know, the better of me, because I've got like 900 friends outside of work, so it is a struggle to be able to add all of them. I can only add 500 onto one wrap party, so we now host 2, so that we've got so that we can add all of those people. But if I do the people that are prospects and customers first, and I also add my loyal customers on as well. So anybody who's recently signed as a loyal customer gets added onto the online party, because if they've joined the business with the wraps, then one, they might see the greens on the online party and think, oh, do you know what, I'll have that next month. So I see it as good customer services, because they're getting to see all the other products that might be of interest to them. But also, if they've seen the wraps and loved it, and you're talking about the distributor side of things, they could think to themselves, oh my God, you know what, actually I could do that, because I've got this product and I really like it. I could tell people. So yeah, so I add all my existing loyal customers as well. But yeah, I mean, I basically just add everybody, but I do it in a certain order, so that I know that even if I run out of time, the key people that I want to see the stuff are seeing it.
As well, though, going back to adding them to your friend page, to your Facebook page, I haven't got an issue with people, you know, having a look at my photos and things. And my kids are older anyway, but I haven't, full stop. But what you're doing is, when they're on your page, is they're getting to know you. They can see you, and people buy people. So, you know, and the status that you're putting on, you know, they can see that you're fun, they can see that you're hardworking, they can see that you're being successful as well in what you do. So, you know, I've added people before, and they just don't speak to me for months and months and months, and then they'll pop up and ask a question.
Yeah.
They're always watching. Always watching.
The amount of people I just have pop up that say, okay, tell me about these wraps then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now that's where I'm buggered, because although I'm on maternity work, I'm supposed to have had permission to do this from work, because it's in my contract.
Yeah.
And I've basically, so.
Can you not do a page?
You need to do a secret group then. Yeah. So you need to do a secret group, and you can still be adding people as friends, and then you add them to your group and use your group like a personal profile. So as you know, Janine, my group, I post all sorts of things in there. I post things that are funny. I post things. I don't tend to post so much about the boys in there, but that's because my personal profile's open. But you know, I do. If people are in my group, they get a really good sense of me. So it's secret. Nobody. And what you can do is as well. So you do realise that you can do it as a secret group, and then you can control who's added to it. So you can say that before anybody is added to the group, it has to be approved by you as an admin. And therefore, if somebody tried to add somebody, and you might look at them and think, no, they're from work, I don't want them on it, you just don't let them come on it. And I would say don't call your group Janine's Skinny Wraps, for skinny product. But just call it something really general, like Crazy Wrap VIP group.
Yeah, no, it's a shame, because I've been given childcare dates now that I've got for next year, so I've got to go in anyway and speak to the boss man and try and negotiate my part-time, what I want.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't go for it, then it's not going to be worth me going back to work, because my childcare costs are just going to be astronomical for the 2 boys. Yeah. So then it'll be a bye-bye, and then all those people on Facebook that live in Germany will then become prospects.
Yeah. So, yeah. But in the meantime, just protect yourself.
Yeah.
And your business page. So your business page, you can do it. Again, you can have people from that. I'm just trying to think. because what we tend to do is on your business page, you'd add anybody that likes your page, you'd add them as a friend, but you're not going to want to. But again, you can do that because as long as they're not linked to your work, you can add them to your friend and then add them to your group.
Yeah.
So as long as it's not people from your work, but you're going to know who they are, I would imagine, the majority of them. So you just, again, have your business page as something that is generic.
Yeah.
Have it that you want to keep that name though, because you can't change the name, I don't think, now on business groups, business pages, which is a bit of an...
I think you get one chance to change it.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, I must have used my one change then.
When you create it, it gives you a note to say that you only have one chance to change it.
Ah, right, okay. So that might be it then. Oh, so you might be okay then, Tracy.
But then also, when I got my confirmation welcome by It Works, they gave me the old configuration web address, and then in your email it had the EU.
Yeah.
And Facebook accepts that as a
Which
website.
one? The EU one?
Yeah.
Because my It Works is not in it, so anyone with the new one can actually promote their page, and I was able to create a sign up direct to my actual website from it.
Right. So because my Melanie Parry, so www.melanieparry.com, I can't use that now.
What?
Really?
Because it's linked to itworksglobal.com, they've realised, I don't know how, that they've realised that it's been masked. So you can't even mask it now.
Oh, that's mental.
I don't know how they've managed it, but honestly, if I send www.melanieparry.com, it won't let me do it.
But when I go onto your page, you can still see it linked as your website. The link might not work, but people can copy and paste it still.
Yeah.
But no, I've tried it, and I was able to put the new HTTP address in, and then I got the call to action came up, and I was able to put sign up, and then there was a test button, and it took me straight through, and I saw today I've had 5 clicks.
Oh, well done.
Although I've only got 34 on my page, I need to get more.
Oh, that was, you only started on Friday, babe. I won't be too hard on yourself.
Yeah.
That's really good. You're saying you can't advertise it on your personal profile because of your work.
So it's just to get more.
Right, okay.